Guys, this is the Danny Zen Show, and I'm going to tell you about why I think Donald Trump needs to meditate, and probably should have been meditating since he was a little kid. Just breathe. Donald, you don't hate Mexicans, you're just angry. Just take a breath and you'll love the Mexicans. Start to love the Mexicans. Take a breath for me, for us, for America. Although it's a lot of fun to make fun of Donald Trump, like there's a lot of humor there, and I get that. I don't hate him. A lot of people hate him, I don't hate him. I actually feel bad for the guy. He clearly has a lot of hate and resentment in his heart, which he projects onto other people, but you have to realize that all that hatred he has towards like Mexicans and women, people in general, that's actually hate he has for himself. Now you can say whatever you want about Donald Trump, but it has to suck to live in a body that has that much hatred and resentment just like boiling inside of it. So I got to thinking, what would Donald Trump be like today if he had meditated 30 minutes a day every day since he was 5 years old? We would have a very different Donald Trump on our hands. And honestly, I think we'd have a very different world on our hands if we taught every 5-year-old to meditate. I recently read this Upworthy article, which I'll link to in the description below, about a school that started implementing mindfulness programs into their curriculum in a partnership with the Holistic Life Foundation. This school decided to eliminate detention entirely and replace it with a mindful moment room. Whenever a student acted out, they would get sent to the mindful moment room where they would meditate and then talk out the problem. In addition, the school started an after-school yoga program. Students learn yoga poses and breathing techniques and how to actually teach the yoga classes themselves. Students learn how to deal with stress in a healthy way, and they report feeling better about themselves and happier in life in general. The school had 0 suspensions in the year that they implemented the program. So just imagine how different the world would be if everyone learned how to deal with their emotions that way from such a young age. Some people say a man like Donald Trump shouldn't be allowed to run for president. But that's not actually a solution. You know what I want to see? A world where we actually deal with that problem where it starts. Where we teach children compassion and kindness. Where we teach children self-acceptance. So that those innocent children don't grow up to be like Donald Trump. And then we won't have presidential candidates who are like this. We'll be dealing with the hatred in our country where it starts. You can't just ban people from being mean. You can't ban people from being racist. You can't ban people from hatred. Those are concepts, those are ideas. The thing you can affect is how children feel about themselves when they're younger. You can teach those children how considering the happiness of others actually makes them happier themselves. If every child who is 5 years old today started meditating 30 minutes a day, every day, in 30 years, we would have the most qualified group of presidential candidates this country has ever seen. Honestly, I think by doing that, we would solve a lot of the violence, the misconduct, the hatred, the resentment, sexual abuse and greed and stealing, because nobody, besides Hannibal Lecter, very tranquilly decides to kill somebody. If you're gonna murder someone, that really has to come from a place of like, adults of the world, learn to meditate and teach your kids to meditate. And then one day, 30 years from now, this whole election cycle will be a vague and distant memory, and we will sleep like babies forevermore. This has been the Danny Zen Show. If you're into it, please subscribe, please subscribe, please subscribe. Hit that button. I love you all. Mwah.